Mm-hmm. All right, all right, all right. How y'all doing out there today? Okay, man. Welcome to PLM News. I got the brother D Mac and the brother J Hustle on here with us today, man. And we opening up this panel, man, to the public, man, to show the importance of unity and conflict resolution. We don't have nobody in here right now, man. So we just gonna build with ourselves, man, because we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So we ain't got no watchers and no listeners at this particular time. But they'll be in, man, and we know the people's gonna chime in. So how you brothers been doing?
Well, not bad, brother. Not bad. Can't complain.
What about
I've
you,
been,
Mr. Dixon?
I've been doing good, man. I've been doing great. I'm live. I'm alive
Okay.
and I'm doing good.
All right, we got two watchers, man. We got to get some more, man. We need at least 100 peoples up in here, man. There go 8. Okay, there we go. Come on, let's go. Hey, we opening up this today, man. We opening it up to the public, man. We want y'all comments. There go the brother Blayland, you sideways, man. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you know I'm
We,
sitting sideways.
yeah, we got 9 viewers in here, man. We need some more. We need to see your comments, man. We want all your comments, man. We want everything, man. Bring them in, man. Bring them in. Bring them in. Bring them in. We got one comment in already from the sincere true Allah. Peace, 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 peace,
Peace to
God.
God.
Peace,
Peace.
God. So thank you for chiming in, brothers. So we talking about unity and conflict resolution today. So my question is this here. Can we have unity without conflict resolution?
It's impossible
I don't think so. I don't think we could have it. Yeah.
So
very
why is it impossible?
because in any form of unity, there's going to be disagreements that arise, and we have to have a format or structure that can resolve those disagreements, difference of opinions, or different perspectives, to where there can be a mutual understanding and agreement to where we can move forward, regardless of the difference or indifference.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty much with any group or party, any business, any organization, any structured situation, like Braylon said, is going to be someone that don't agree with or uh, uh, work against something.
Okay. Within
I
the
can't I
okay,
kind of
go
I
ahead.
kind of I kind of feel both sides. I feel 50-50 with that. Because if you have an organization or a company or anything like that, if they on the same vision that you own, if this is what we about, when you become a part of that, you're gonna come with that aspect where there's gonna be unity involved. But just like the rest of y'all said, that it's always gonna be someone that doesn't agree with what's going on. So it's always you have to know how to solve things as humans for conflict resolution.
And
Okay.
using conflict resolution.
Okay. So now we have one of the through grandma eyes says GDI growth and development to you through grandma eyes. Thank you, bro, for chiming in.
Same to
Thank you
you.
for the
Same to you.
super sticker. You know, I believe that you got to be able to have conflict resolution, and that in our community we do have the structure set up for conflict resolution. But what I'm thinking today is our people has gotten away from the structure that has been set up within the community to deal with conflict. A lot of people don't understand uh, the mechanism and the structure in itself. So if you don't understand the structure, if you don't understand, that means now when conflict arises, what happens is more peoples get involved who shouldn't be involved. Things get to be said, and there now you got he say, she say, we say, they say, and all this, and nobody is actually listening to the other, and no one is actually trying to find the resolution in it because no one is listening.
Correct.
Also, ignorance got a big part to play in that as well. You got ones that's not
completely aware or abreast or have the proper tools or the education or the training to know what it is that they looking at dealing with, the individuals that they looking at or dealing with, to resolve or dissolve certain conflicts. Some some just haven't been groomed properly or educated properly.
So the question becomes is when did ignorance gain a viewpoint? So when do ignorance have a viewpoint? Because now
This is
if
what I was
okay, go bro.
yeah, this is what I was going to say in reference to ignorance gaining the viewpoint. It really became prevalent in society today to where people seek validation more than resolution.
Right.
This is where a lot of people get together amongst their peers or their friends or whatever you want to call it, and they discuss their viewpoint about a situation. So now everybody has the same opinion about that situation, where nobody's dealing with the facts at all. And that
So you
need for validation has caused a lot of ignorance.
so you basically saying then that it's groupthink then.
Yes.
So one
Yeah.
person say something in the group, then all the rest of then everybody else in the group take on that same particular thought process without without weighing anything is being said. Just group think.
Yep.
Correct.
Well, that's how it starts actually. This kind of like the snowball effect. Like he said, you got the like-minded people, and the perception or the view about whatever the issue, topic, or person is, it get adapted because it's spread it like
Yeah.
factual information, but it's more emotional than it is factual.
So then why is
Mhm.
unity so important then?
Unity is important because you need the unity so every department or every faction can work as a collective. Because if you don't have if you don't have no unity, that means this department gonna be something else, and this department gonna be something else, and you're not going by the parameters of what the vision is about. If I'm in a company and this is our vision, this is what it is. But if you got other people thinking that, hey, we should do it like this or we should do it like that, and the vision and the rules and parameters already been set up, you need to go get your own stuff going on if you got a difference in it. But you can have ideas. You have to bring it to the proper people, and you have to have conflict. You got to have resolution to that. Now, people have resolution. Say, okay, it sounds good. We could come to the table and make a decision on this and that. But just not saying nothing, you're not giving no resolution to it. You don't know how to deal with conflict because you could disagree. You're supposed to disagree. You want everybody to have their own mind, but it should be things set up where that this is going to be, we could come up with ideas, but this is what it is. We're going to take care of your idea. We're going to listen to it or whatever, but this is what we about. We about this. So you jump on board with the unity part or you don't, you know?
Trail.
Yeah.
Okay, I see we got old Bunky and jumped on. What's up, Bunk?
How you doing, brother?
What up, Jake?
How you
Man,
What
doing,
up,
man?
family?
How
Man,
you
we
what's up,
brothers
dealing with
what's up,
doing?
man?
we great, man. We dealing with conflict. We dealing with the importance of unity and conflict resolution today, man. So thank you for coming on, man. We really appreciate that, man. And so what do you have to say about unity? Why is unity and conflict resolution so important, man, in any type of company or community or family or whatever? Why is that important to you?
It's important because unity is camaraderie. When unity is together, your word carries further. Your word only can carry as far as the group is united. Once you get
Right.
to that certain part where it's a naysayer, then now that word gets transformed, and by the time it gets to the real ears, we done seen it. One thing getting said across the room in each other ear. By the time it makes the other side, it's a whole nother thing, and that's what's going on.
So we used to have a thing in the we was in the state joint. We used to call that tell a ninja, right? You know what I'm saying? We used to always say tell a ninja. So if you tell, we used to put out fake rumors and fake information to give it to peoples, and see how far they'll run with it. And we know where it started because we're gonna pick a particular person, one person to start with, and then next thing you know, it takes on a life of its own, man. You know what I'm saying? But we already know what we was doing and where it was coming from. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have today, man. People just putting stuff out. Nobody is weighing the value of, and the next thing you know, they starting to spread it, and it's not what it was when it initially started. We got that. That's understood, and
Yeah.
you're right about that. You know.
So like for our community, we got a set of rules. We got a set of dynamics and a set of parameters that was already set forth for us to follow and adhere to. Every last one of us agreed to what those parameters were. Every last one of us agreed and took an oath to stand on and adhere to the dynamics of what that is. I don't understand how anything regarding that is lost in translation, except for if you are in a particular group of people that don't know what those rules and those parameters are. And to be next to anybody that's giving you misinformation as to what those rules and parameters are, we find ourselves dealing with that situation at this particular moment in regards to unity and conflict resolution. You got a group of people running around in our community right now that don't really understand and don't really know what the rules and parameters are. So it's hard for any of them to grasp what that understanding is, or even have the tools to deal with whatever the conflict is, or the individuals that's contributing to the conflict in order for it to be resolved. If they don't know, then it's hard to resolve that conflict.
Yeah, I believe that what you're saying is right, but I also believe that you have to respect the entity that you in. When you respect
Absolutely.
the entity in, and when you take that oath upon being what you're trying to be about, you have to respect that. And then you have to respect that. So when respect come, the resolution come is like we have to go through the chain of command, whatever that chain of command is, to resolute the conflict. We have to do that. But if you don't have no respect of your entity, you're gonna put out false stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? And you try to get somebody that agree with you. So when you get a group of people that agree with you, that kind of mess the dynamic of what we about. You know?
Yeah.
This is one thing I was
Agreed.
considering
Uh-huh.
as I was listening to everybody give their input. When it comes to the conflict resolution specifically, right?
Yeah.
We have to first be able to define the source of the conflict. Now, people often think that I'm gonna use me and you, D-Mac, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
We may be having a conversation. We reach a disagreement point, and that's viewed as a conflict. But our disagreement is not actually the conflict. That's the result of the conflict, because
Right.
the initial conflict starts within each individual. My own personal thing. It's not necessarily you said that is wrong. You may have said something that I personally disagree with. That
Right.
doesn't make you wrong. I just disagree with it. But if I'm not addressing the reason why I disagree, and I'm putting the blame on you as offending me or disrespecting me because you disagree with me or I disagree with you, that leads to a bigger issue than what it really is.
Exactly.
And that's the majority of conflicts now in society, especially
Well,
among, you know what I'm saying, our community.
yeah, agreed. Agreed. But why does it have to be a conflict when we got a set of rules and ordinance that we go by that we have to go through this type of thing? Why?
Because that's the reason why the rules and everything was put in place for that, for this here. But when people don't understand the rules or the guidelines or whatever the company has set in place within that particular company, that's when you start having chaos. Now, let me show you this here. Let me give y'all a prime example. You got a company. You running a company. You bring somebody else in to be your operations manager. The operation managers comes in and get to create all type of chaos within the rank and files of the employees, right? Now you have the employees, everyone looking at each other, talking behind this person back, spreading this false rumor, adding to a story, taking away from a story, and then a lot of times you sit back and you'll be looking at, why did the operation manager do this here? Why was it done? Is the person incompetent and can't handle their job, or do they have a hidden agenda behind it? Either way, it's damaging to the company.
Exactly.
Yes.
Regardless. So we have to be able to define the problem, find out what the problem is, define the problem, and then find a solution to the problem. Awareness, preparedness, who and what.
Did it?
You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to be able to do.
Agreed. And
know?
you also pointed out something in the previous a previous episode, Fee, in regards to leadership, which is a very important and pivotal part of what we're discussing right now. When leadership doesn't take control of a conflict or an issue that would be a detriment to the community, is just as damaging as the situation itself, because it snowballs out of control. It's allowed to continue. Yeah. It's allowed to happen and continue.
Yep.
TP, with leadership, see that word's being used loosely, because leadership doesn't mean what everyone understands. See, you got leaders and you got people leading. You know what I'm saying? There's two different things. Both of them are leadership.
TP. When I say leadership, I'm saying leadership as a body, not leadership. Leadership is a combined group of people that's in position to lead.
Jitty.
Okay.
You got guys who's been certified as having slots and high up. People are following them because their slot is certified years ago, but that doesn't mean they can't be misled because they're a leader. But like you said, leader and leadership is two different things.
Right.
Yeah. So, and the way our community is set up, the leadership always supposed to come together in matters of disputes and discrepancies. That's how this community is set up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
I would like to say something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening, right? And this is what's going through my mind this time. Because I agree with everything that's being said. Analyzing my time on the street and watching society and our community progress. What I come to realize in this moment is a lot of folks came with good intentions, right? To make the right things happen. But because of so much lack of understanding and so much lack of information, they had to adapt in the moment to get things to work. And in those certain moments of adaptation, things got misconstrued. Information got mixed up. And that mixed up information became the norm because it worked in the moment. And we're creatures of habit as human beings. So if it worked in the moment, then we continue to do it because we think it works. We don't think that was just what was done to get to the next stage so we can actually perfect what we're doing.
A temporary fix.
Yes. Yeah. And that led to a conflict. And in order to deal with that, we have to now address those temporary fixes and explain why they had to happen and what their purpose was and what the next stage should have been.
Right.
Which goes back to identifying the problem.
So that's awareness of being aware that there is a problem.
Right. Yeah.
So then the next stage in that awareness is preparedness.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's look at, we know that there's a problem. We know that COINTELPRO is highly at work. We know that the government is highly at work. We have seen what the government has done within our community, man, for years. Look what happened with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Look what happened with Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad. Gabriel Prosser, what his brother told on him during they were trying to escape from slavery and the law slavery vote. So we have seen this on numerous occasions within our communities. We have seen this here. So why do we continue with all the history that has shown us all the things that we have seen throughout the annals of time and throughout history? Why do we continue to make the very same mistakes?
I believe that we're not knowledgeable on them situations. Everybody doesn't know the problems that happen, or they never paid attention, and really don't think that it won't happen to me now, since we in this new day of age. So the things that happen in slavery ain't gonna happen to us. Um, Things with prejudice is not gonna happen to us. So if you're not knowledgeable of things that happen, a reason why we is in a predicament because we are systematically brainwashed by people that was in control of us. So we have to re-educate everybody to the fact of our history and what put us in the predicament that we in now. Because everybody don't know what happened in the day. It's like telling we know about the young kids. They don't know nothing about doing even like with education in the school system. They don't know nothing about showing your work. We come up in the era where you had to show your work and we do tests and all that type of stuff. You don't have to do none of that no more. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have the knowledge of history. They just going by what's right now. And it's our job to teach the history why we in a predicament that we in, and teach the young people that this is why we in this how we should think, because we was put in this position.
I have a
Okay,
question.
okay.
Based on what you just said, D Mac, this is the question I want to ask the panel. Okay, let's say as an example, I'm in line to teach, right? Because I have the knowledge of the history, so I can teach.
Right.
However, my fear is if I make a decision and the same outcome turns about to be the same exact result, even though I try a different approach, I don't want to be blamed for the result of the outcome not being successful. So the question becomes, how do you get a person to not subconsciously sabotage themselves by creating a whole other conflict because they want to avoid accountability and place blame somewhere else? Because that keeps conflict going as well.
Impossible.
Okay.
I just believe that we have to be a person that takes on that leadership or whatever, that don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be
Right.
afraid to mess up. Because
Right.
nobody is perfect. So I might get some wrong information, but as long as you come back and clear that up, when you come back and clear it up, it makes a big difference. Don't let it just linger. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm
Right.
giving you the wrong information, it's like, okay, I went back, I gave you the wrong information. I need to tell you the real information now. So don't be afraid to mess up. And that's what a lot of people do. They think I got to do this, and they not man enough or woman enough to say I made a mistake, because nobody want to make a mistake. So that's what I think that needs to be done. We can't be
Okay.
scared. We
We
can't be
got
scared to make decisions.
we got Kentucky Shannon TV, and the brothers say appreciate you, brothers, 100%, and the platform. We got to make learning history appealing to young peoples. That is true.
True,
That is
true,
true. And see, that is a
true.
discussion. What Kentucky Shannon TV. Thank you too, man, for the comment, Kentucky Shannon. Uh, this is something that you and I and Blaylen was discussing earlier, man. How do we make it give the youth a platform so that way they will be able to uh, 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 voice their frustration or what's appearing within their community?
Hmm.
So we discussed that earlier. You know what I'm saying? So
The
my
youth,
thing
the,
is,
the
uh
youth.
huh.
I'm sorry, Fee. The youth that, well, I can't speak for all of them, but we have these pockets of youngsters, 25 and well, I should say 30 and under, that are ill affected by misinformation, disloyalty, traumatized by being neglected and abused, things of that nature. You know what I mean? Being misinformed, and most of these things never being cleaned up. You know what I mean? So we dealing with these traumatized youth in our communities. You know what I'm saying? That's been lied to, fed the wrong information, done wrong, left by the wayside, things of that nature. To uh, it's hard to reach them based on them being defensive and apprehensive about where they getting information from, or who it is that they should be uh, educated by, or even trusting, for that matter. Trust is like the huge deciding factor on how you're going to obtain them, or be able to, set them right on the right path. They not trusting nothing.
So
That is totally agreed. But I think what you said, that the people got to get them the right information. If they do give them some wrong information, come back and clear it up. Well, one thing that we were talking about earlier, Blayland and Fee, is that these youngsters need an avenue. They want to be heard. They want to be heard, man.
And they
So
shouldn't
we
be
need to,
denied that. They
yeah,
should not be denied that.
right. They want to be heard. So we have to give them something that they could voice their opinions on, whether it be negative or positive, because that's how we're gonna teach. Because everything is not our way. Some people have different views than we do. We just the community that we involved in. This is how it go, and we have to relay that vision. But they need to be heard, and they need to be heard bad, because that's what it is. They don't think nobody care about them. They don't want to hear what they talking about. It's always negative about them, and they need to be heard. I think they really, really, really need to be heard.
they
And
also
we,
look at they also look at the older brothers and sisters
hmm
out here bickering and arguing amongst themselves, right? So
yeah,
if they seeing the older brothers bickering and arguing amongst themselves, they gonna look at like, man, what am I listening to them for? Just imagine
right.
this. You a
Yeah,
wise
and
man. You are a wise man, right?
hmm
I walk up and I see you arguing with a fool, right?
Hmm.
How would I be able to tell who's the wise man and who's the fool? And I see you going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth,
Right,
back and forth. How
right.
can I be able to tell? So this is the youth. The youth looking at that. Who's how, what? And I'm not trying to hear nothing that neither one of y'all are saying, any of y'all are saying. Because look at you.
hmm
Y'all not guiding us.
Right.
Y'all doing the same things that we're doing. And then
And
y'all go,
that's where it come back to conflict resolution. We have to learn how to um 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 resolve situations without the bickering and the negativity and everything go like that. So we have to show the kids or the people that's behind us that we can resolve issues without any type of conflict,
you know,
or being straight up with the conflict, instead of going back and forth. It got to be my way, your way, my way, your way. It's the he say she say thing.
but should it be done in the public?
No,
It should
no,
never be done in the public, right?
no,
absolutely not.
And let me tell y'all
no.
why. Because we have a thing where as though it's called the leadership code of conduct. And
Yes.
Correct.
number eight says never argue with a fellow leader in the presence of strangers or the membership.
Yep. hmm
Leaders
Let
solve their
alone,
problems in the presence of other leaders.
Right.
In all matters, the leadership is to show respect and cooperation in the eyes of the membership and outsiders. So, therefore,
hmm
if there's a disagreement between me and you, I'm gonna disagree with all three of y'all on here. I'm
Nobody
never
else will
finna get
know it.
nobody else
Nobody
gonna
else
know
will
that,
know it.
but
Yeah.
us.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? We're gonna
Now,
solve this here. Then we get back in the face of the even in the face of the anybody. We are
Right.
all on the same place.
On
And
the same
Lord
page.
knows
Right.
hey,
G Mac and Blayland. and hustle, we all disagree.
Right.
Right.
We all
They'll never
disagree.
know.
And
Yeah.
y'all disagree with me more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This
So-
is something I want
Hey.
to say in concerns of that.
TP. Fee, I need you to repeat number 8 again, please.
Okay, Kentucky Shannon TV said, Fee, so you are saying that the elders need to be on code. The
Yes.
elders need to, yes,
Yes,
it's the leadership
yes.
code of conduct.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Can you repeat number 8, please?
It says, never argue with a fellow leader in the presence of strangers or the membership.
Right.
Leaders solve their problems in the presence of other leaders.
Mhm.
In all matters, the leadership is to show respect and cooperation in the eyes of the membership and outsiders.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So now,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna say it kind of slow,
Good
Fee, because I
afternoon,
want to make
Joshua
sure
Lamar.
I want to make sure you get back to your point. But this is it right here. Right here. This is it.
Right.
When you take the opportunity to not acknowledge what you agreed to and gave an oath to, this is one of them things. And you not only not adhering to it, but you also disseminating. You also disseminate against the other person or other members. You doing the
use a big
membership
word
an
on me.
injustice.
Use the big word on me right now. You gotta come down a little bit. Disseminate.
Yeah, you disseminating. You. All right, here's an example. Blatant.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You upset with something that D-Mac said or did.
Mhm.
And instead of you going to D-Mac and saying, hey, man, I don't like what you did, man, we need to talk about this. Or I don't like what you said, we need to talk about this. Instead of you doing that, you go to the membership and say, hey, man, I don't like D-Mac, man, because he did this or he said that.
They should never know we had conflict.
They shouldn't even know you got that problem with D-Mac.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know that word
Period.
is undermined.
Yeah, it is. It's undermining, but disseminating is you taking it to the people
Mhm.
as
Making
something
it public.
tangible.
You make it
Yeah.
public. Dissemination, opening it up. You shouldn't be
Right.
opening it up.
Yeah.
You taking it to the people and you spreading this like a virus, like bacteria.
Yeah.
Poison in the minds of the mass.
And
Right.
and you in a position of authority, so everybody taking your word as the good book.
Right.
We need you brothers, man. Thank y'all, man. ELZ World Podcast and plenty much PML gentlemen for bringing this topic to the forefront. No doubt, bro. Then we
Right.
got a G1990 say real builders about growth. 100. That's right.
Right.
Then we got oh man, the brother Bud Junior. He says that makes a lot of sense. It's like parents choosing to fight and argue in front of their kids. This
Absolutely.
can adversely affect the kids, especially if it continues. Thank you,
Right.
brothers, for the education. You're absolutely correct.
You're right.
Absolutely. You know, that's not by him using the parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use my mother and father for this here. I know that my mother and father disagreed with each other a lot, but in front of us,
Right.
they were one unit. They were a team.
Right.
Whatever they did behind closed doors, that was their thing. But if my mama made a decision towards me that my dad didn't agree with, he wouldn't say nothing in front of my mama. He wouldn't say nothing to my mama in front of me. He'll go behind closed doors and talk to my mom. Now you know you're wrong. Now you know you're wrong. And then my mama gonna come back and correct that. He ain't gonna disagree with my mom in front of me, because what that does, that opens up the door for me to start saying, oh, whenever I get upset with my daddy, I can go to my mom. When I get upset with my mom, I can go to my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Fitzpatrick, peace. PML, family, peace and blessings. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Love, family.
Love. Yes, sir.
All right. So let's say, for example, a person had a difference with somebody, and the difference did become public, right? So whatever way it went public, When the resolution is brought, should the resolution be made public just as well as
Yes.
okay?
I
Yes.
don't agree. I
Yes. You
don't
know
agree.
why? You know why I say it has to be made public? Because if I defame you in the public, I have a responsibility to come back to straighten that out. Because if I don't straighten it out, then it still leaves, it lingers in the minds of those that's listening to me. Because I haven't made a public apology to you, man. If I defame you in the public, I have a responsibility to straighten that out in the public, man.
It's accountability, D-Mac.
Yes.
But,
Great example.
You gotta be accountable.
But I understand that. But I didn't seen situations where leaders disagree in public, but in private they got together and said, okay, we get back to the membership. We're gonna let them know that we're on the same page.
That's
And that's
public.
what they do. Right.
That's
They
public.
did.
That's still taking it publicly to the
That's
membership,
public.
saying, "Hey, it ain't no quarrel, there ain't no, you know what I mean,
Right,
no
ain't no
situation."
nothing. But they actually went behind closed doors and resoluted that conflict.
That's the thing.
Then
But
came back and told me.
that's what he was meaning.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly
Yeah.
how it's supposed to go.
Okay.
Yes. One
Oh,
love
good.
submitted. Thanks, bro. Thanks. Good
Thanks.
example, brother Taylor. Thank you, bro.
Mhm.
The brother Kentucky Shannon TV said, great question at Blayland. That was a great question, Blayland. Great question.
Yeah, that's
So if
the
I do
superstar.
something to you,
That's
if
the
I
super-
do
Because
that's
we
the
can't
superstar.
we can't make the mistake of having the conflict, resolving the conflict, yet and still let the membership move with that conflict in existence. Like that conflict, if you go behind closed doors and handle the situation, you come back and let the membership know that, hey, everything's fine. This is what we did. We on the same
Right.
page. Let's move forward. You still don't have everybody running amok thinking, you know,
That-
one person is one way with the other. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you got to remember that we deal with what we got on black and white, the subordinates. Everybody is subordinate to somebody.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? So with that being in existence, you can't allow something to linger like that because it affects everybody that's subordinate.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, adding on to that, right? The next part of that would be, let's say all those steps were done. The resolution was made public. Then an individual steps off to the side amongst their normal crew and be like, man, fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I don't fuck with that nigga still. Would that
you
not
disrupting
recreate?
organization
You
unity.
disrupting the
You disrupting
unity of the
organization
community
unity.
then.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you disrupting because you
Yeah.
said something in the public, but then behind, then you still going off and you still creating the same problem. That's the same problem.
Yeah. You still creating dissension. You still
Right.
disrupting organizational unity. Period.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the brother Joshua Lamont just said, bring it dissemination if it's between two individuals. Those individuals shouldn't put it out to the collective of causing dissension amongst the people's integrity and dignity. Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
That's exactly what this format is right here.
That's
Right.
right. We have to
Exactly
be
it.
able to learn how to deal with conflict resolution. And then
Right.
we got another comment. ELZ World Podcast say ignorant outbursts. Exactly.
True. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Then we going
Yeah.
back, said syndrome of negativity, which comes from the common sense approach. Where do
Right.
ignorant outbursts come from? The common
Yeah.
sense approach.
Common sense approach.
Somebody gets an echo in the back somewhere with somebody, man. With a TV
Yeah, I hear it.
or yes, a TV or something.
Hold on.
Yeah. It says righteous, 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 righteous. All right, you're right, bro. That's what we standing on. We standing
Yeah.
on. You know what I'm saying? We standing on righteousness.
A true foundation.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we on. That's what we on. That's what we on. We are about finding a solution to our problems within the community. We have to find a solution to the problems in the community because if it's affecting one person, then that one person, it can spread throughout the community. It's like cancer.
Yes,
If
it
you
is.
don't catch, see, I had cancer.
Mm.
I had cancer. They caught it earlier. They caught it early so it wouldn't spread throughout the body, because once that cancer spread throughout the body, ain't no coming back from it,
No
man.
coming
It's
back.
all amount of time, man. So
All
we got
right.
to catch cancer in the beginning, cut it out, get it done, go through the treatment, and move forward. Once we start going through the treatment, that's your conflict resolution right there.
Right.
You're going through the treatment now. You're getting the treatment for it. You're being
Yeah.
treated.
Okay.
That's what
Now
we
with
have
that
to do.
with that treatment process, right?
Is that you, Blayland?
I don't know. Let me put my mic on mute to see what happens.
Who just had a phone call just recently? That's who had it on another phone.
No, I had the phone ringing.
That's
It
where it
was
was
Blayland.
coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there. Okay,
Is
Fee,
it
when you
still?
speak, see if the
Okay, well,
panel.
I had my mic on mute, so that wasn't mine.
All right. Now I can hear D-Mac, so I know where it's at. I know where it's at. All right. There we go. All right, D-Mac. It's
That's
you,
me.
D-Mac.
That's me. I don't see why, because I ain't got no other phone.
It's JJ. It's JJ.
Okay. Right.
It's JJ. Yeah, that's who it is.
You getting background from me?
Yeah. We get background from JJ.
Mm.
Yeah. So I now thank you, Kentucky Shannon. He say, Fee, when you speak, see if the panel can mute. Only one mic. Got it. Got you. Because we was just going back and forth. So now the only mic that's muted is
Because they picking it up on the podcast.
okay, there you go. No, it's still there. It's still there. Whatever you got going on at your house is there. So we gotta mute you, bro. So let's go, bro. Let's keep it going. You still there. We still hear you. You still on with us, Hustle. But we got to get you get that background echo.
Now I got a question. I got a question for everybody.
Yeah.
When you scandalize, or what's the word you used yesterday, Fee, on the podcast?
Slander.
Slander. When you slander something or somebody or a type of vision or organization or whatever, is it too far gone? If it's been going a long time, is it too far gone to come back from that?
No. Let me tell you why. Because then if you're saying that, just if you get Microsoft, if there's a conflict within Microsoft, right? Then there's a conflict within Microsoft. And if it can never be too far gone, because what you're saying now is that Microsoft can no longer exist because this conflict cannot be resolved. The conflict can always be resolved. Always. It can be resolved. We just got to find the proper solution on how to resolve it. That's what
Now,
Bill Gates and his peoples have to do.
okay, speaking on that, if Bill Gates or the company, if Bill Gates don't want to hear from the person that's trying to, well, the person that's slandering, if a person been slandering for so long and the people on the same level don't want to hear it, how can that be resoluted? How can that conflict has a resolution to it?
Okay, so now we know now there has to be repercussions, or something has to be done based on what we do. All right. Discipline. We all
Mm-hmm.
have to have discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline is only meaning self-control.
Right.
If I don't have self-control, then that means that there has to be some form of discipline within myself. It has to be, man. Because without it, it ain't gonna never get it. It's just gonna be it's gonna be up in the air. It's gonna be up in the air. It's gonna constantly be up in the air. But somebody has to be the bigger person in it and say, okay, Fee, you got to be able to sit down. Hey, you got to be able to do this. Hey, man, you know you was wrong for doing this here. How you gonna expect somebody to sit down with you, or Fee, man, you know you did this, Fee. So why D-Mac gonna sit down with you? I
Okay,
got to
now,
be humble in my approach to say, D-Mac, I sincerely apologize to you, man. You know, if
right,
I know I know I caused you wrong, bro. I sincerely apologize. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I have to be, that somebody just said, accountability. You have to be able to be held accountable for your action. And
So if
then
we,
And
somebody
we
else said
opposed to
this
that.
here.
so
Somebody else said
it,
this here. Nothing, this is one of the Facebook users said, nothing is ever too far gone in my eyes. But you do have to deal with the willing in order for it to be restructured and rebuilt. True.
agreed. So if we owning a company together,
Right.
we got equal parts of a company or whatever. And
No, you got some percentage in this company now. You ain't got equal
right, I got
parts
some
in the company.
percentage. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got percentage. Yeah, I got percentage. Not equal. I ain't gonna say equal. We got percentage in it. So if we got percentage in it, and my pride is saying that I don't want to talk to another percentage owner, and the other percentage owner don't want to talk to me, or everybody don't want to talk. How can we resolute that?
That's a good question.
Just like Fee said, we as the people have to move according to what our dynamic is, what our boundaries is, what
Stay
our
within the
guidelines is.
black and white, bruh.
We have to go back to that. We have to remind them, or you have to remind yourselves, or it has to be somebody next to you that has to remind you what your responsibility and obligation is
Cause
in a proper manner.
if
That
I
you have to
defame
be
you, bruh,
reminded.
if I defame you, I have to straighten that out.
All right,
Right.
Yep.
TP for a second.
I have to straighten that out. I have to. You know,
Hmm.
say, can I expect for you to sit down with me? No, I can't expect for you to just wash all that over with and then say, okay, all right, it's all done. No, man, because I've
Right.
defamed you. I have to re-earn your trust. I have to re-earn your respect because I
Right.
did something wrong, bro.
And
Okay,
Okay.
all of this is affecting the morale of
Right.
the community. The people
Hmm.
are affected by this. The people are the one. The leader is the servant of the people. We have to we have to remind everybody of that. You serving the
okay.
people.
Now TP, because in retrospect to this moment right here, right? This is what happens. The reason why a lot of conflicts can't be resolved. We get stuck on the incident itself, as opposed to looking beyond the incident and get into the inner core of it. Like with this situation, let's just say I'm a percentage holder, right? I don't
Hmm.
want to sit down with somebody. For whatever reason, I don't want to sit down. The issue is not the fact that I don't want to sit down. The issue is what ABA inside of me, what action, behavior, and attitude do I have internally as an individual that creates my conflict? It's not about the other person anymore.
See, we trying to
You see what I'm
deal
saying?
with the symptoms instead of the cause. Don't look at this. Don't just look at okay, he got cancer. Now you're trying to treat the cancer. See what I'm saying? We have to deal with how this all began, man. Go to
Exactly.
the root, not the incidents in itself. You know what I'm saying? Look at everything how this all began. If I started something, bro, because this is what we've been taught, bro. We've been taught this here. If we have been taught that if I did something, all three of us, me, you, and Hustle, was in the same place. And if I did something to you, bro, I had a responsibility to stand up in front of you and everybody else, man,
Everybody else.
to correct what I did wrong, man.
Exactly.
I had to do it, man. And I had to do it, and I had to be sincere in what I was doing. But now it's all goes back to what the brother Blayland just said. And Blayland said that ABA is it within me. It's within me. It's not with you. It's not with Hustle. It's not with Blayland. It's with me. I have to straighten out what I done.
I agree with those points, but it's still gonna go back to your responsibility and your obligation, that in which you agreed to and gave an oath to.
And that
you
goes
still
with the
have to acknowledge that. You gotta acknowledge that. You gotta accept that, and you have to honor it.
That goes with the black. That's what I was saying. I just said. I said the way we were taught, the way we was taught. That is in the direct line what Hustle is saying.
Your action, behavior, and attitude is gonna be in direct conflict with what your responsibility and obligation is. That is a consequence.
Now watch this here. One of the people says, not only looking into the inner core of it, but also look at it how we can prevent this incident from happening again. We must always look at things from 6 different directions in order to ensure our success grow. Correct. Right. If it happened, how do we prevent it from happening again? Because it has happened.
Right.
Okay. Feet.
Yeah.
Can you read number 8 again for me, please?
Okay, let me say this here. I had to suffer the consequences behind some things in Pontiac. And by us being live, I got to let the people know what those consequences were. I took the weight for somebody because I didn't tell on them. So the weight fell on me. D-Mac, you know, Hustle, you was there. Y'all know I took the weight for one of the brothers. It fell on me. I took the weight. I didn't say nothing. I had to accept the consequences behind it. I learned from that. You know what I learned? I ain't doing that no more. That's why I always said, if it ever became a choice between me, you, and the company, right, you're gonna lose.
And I got one for you too.
Yeah.
Slim in Centralia. When we go to ignorant outbursts, making comments and public opinions, I asked a question after being given a directive. I asked a question in public, which would the perception would be that I was questioning someone's decision or someone's authority. That got me eradicated.
I had to go through the same thing
in Centralia.
Yeah.
Not because I was defying them. It was the perception of my question in front of the membership.
Yes.
Which was explained to me later because, in all honesty, it was the right question to ask, just the wrong place.
Oh, so you was outside of number 8 then.
Right.
Outside of number 8.
Read number 8.
I'm like, can you read number 8 again for me, please?
We all went through that. You know what I'm saying? So, I was not only was I eradicated, I was off talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up, because I took the weight for somebody. I did not put the goals of the family ahead of the individual.
And we was made an example.
And I had to accept that. I wore that. And D-Mac, I was in your sale house. You know this here. I wore it because I knew I had to wear it. Did I go off and point fingers at anybody? No. I accepted it and I wore it because I made the mistake. I didn't throw nobody else under the bus. I didn't do none of that. Right. I wore it. But when it came time for me to step up, I stepped up while I was still off talk. I stepped up. You know, so
because we still realize that we got a job to do.
We got a job to do, even though it said on paper that I wasn't, but in here, I'm always gonna be.
And what y'all saying about number 8 in the what you call code of leadership, code of conduct of leadership. I had to go privately, not put it out there anything, and tell a person, another leader, that hey, before we do anything, this brother got to be back with us. Fuck that. You
And who
know what
was you
I'm
talking
saying?
about?
I was talking about you, Fee.
There
You,
you
Right.
go. And you did it
Right.
you,
privately.
Privately.
Yeah.
Man, hey
but
man.
not to say that you know what I mean. Like I was there, D Mac, because
Yeah.
the decision got made. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it wasn't nothing could be done about the decision being made, or how the membership felt about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We had to go, like D Mac said, he had to go about the principle of it, the principle of the
Yeah.
matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, it all of this got to be done.
It's got to be done, bro.
It's got to be
Right.
done.
It's got to be. Listen, man. There's no if, ands, or buts about it, man. Anybody who has defamed or disparaged another person, man, you owe it to that person, man, to make it right. Not only do you owe it to that person, you owe it to the overall goals of the community, man, to make it right, man. Make the situation right.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make the situation right, we're going to continue to be going through the exact same thing over and over and over and over. Make it right so we don't have to go through this no more. Let's
Right.
use this as a learning experience and
I'm gonna
grow
step out on
from it.
them and listening to what everybody's saying. I can't help but think about where it says my every action, behavior, and attitude
Yeah.
will build and reflect the
Vividly
positive,
reflect.
dignified principles that this organization was built upon.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, the first law and principle that this organization is built upon is love.
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 All right, love is the ability to treat others in the manner that you desire to be treated.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if, as an example, I defame, slander, or perform an ignorant outburst on somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Off the break, I'm separating love right there.
Right.
Because if I love you, I'm not going to slander your name.
That's right.
Right.
If I love you, I'm going to treat you with the same respect I want to be given, which means if I hear something about you, I'm going to analyze it first, do my due diligence on it, and then come to you about the information itself. And I'm going to put myself out here on something, right? Even though what I said was true when I spoke it, the manner in which I spoke it made it an IOB. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing happened with Hustle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I was wrong about what I said, it's just the manner. And by me doing it, I lost a good brother that I didn't want to lose. I don't feel I should have lost. However, the decision that was made, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Me and bro don't talk right now. I still love bro to death. And if I could, matter of fact, I'm gonna do it now, bro. TP on me for the way I performed that outburst. I take accountability for that and responsibility for the outcome that happened. And I take blame for the division that happened between you and I. Raw face, I love you, bro. Regardless to all that other stuff, folks. You my brother. And I apologize to you.
That's love.
That's love.
That's love.
Because I couldn't be on here saying everything I'm saying, hearing what I'm hearing, know I got this on my shoulders and not be accountable for it.
That's taking accountability.
So, you know, standing on my 6, dealing with the principle of love and the law of love, I had to do that. So, back to what I was saying. If I love my brother and I want this unity thing, I'm obligated to show that love in my actions, behavior, and attitude. That's what gives life to the loyalty that we express to each other.
Right.
Man, the brother
That's the first 3 things.
That's powerful, Blaylen, what you just said.
Real powerful.
That's powerful. This, I think, he's giving you the clapping hands at Blaylen, man. You know what I'm saying? He giving you an applause, bro. He applauding you for
brother.
doing
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we all have to do, man.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna look down on you, man.
Right.
We're gonna applaud you for taking accountability.
you correcting the wrong situation.
It says K Monger say it takes a real one to own up to their mistake. And you're right about that.
Exactly right.
That's right. We have to be able to own up to our mistake. I've wronged people's in life, and I don't have a problem, man. I ain't never had a problem, man, with going back and say, man, hey, I apologize, I'm wrong.
Exactly.
Never. No matter how that person may still feel about me, I feel vindicated because I know I did you wrong. So now I've apologized to you. Not only if I've apologized to you, if I got to do it in front of a room full of people, if I defamed you in a room full of people, I'm going to apologize to you in front of that same room so that they can see that I am sincere in who and what I am. I am the message that I bring.
Okay, Fee.
Yeah.
I think one of them hinted on this a little bit earlier. I think it was D-Mac about the offense level. See, like, and we just recently had this conversation, Fee.
Yeah.
About the offense level, the subject and offense level. Now, a lot of us can't grin and bear things, which is another sprinkle of the issue. You know what I mean? When you in a position of leadership, according to what we know in black and white, these personal things, these personal matters, you have to set aside to make right or wrong. No matter how personal the matter is, because you have a job and an obligation. Now, you still put yourself in a situation where you can discuss these personal matters and try to get them resolved too. But first and foremost, you're supposed to be handling the business, and you're supposed to be handling the business of the family, of the community. True. Period. That's the seat that you sit in. Any one of us, that's the seat that we sit in. We have to find a resolution to the problem with the people or the community itself. We have to fix that problem and handle it. We find ourselves talking about an issue with individuals that have let the personal side of these situations overrun what they supposed to be doing and what their responsibility is, or what that STD is. That STD is there for a reason. You in that seat for a reason. You walking that path for a reason. Don't deviate from that path and what your job is because you personally feeling some type of way about something. You still got a job to do. You're responsible for a whole lot of people. You got to take care of your business. You got to take care of your business. And then when you get to that point where you have that opportunity, you handle the personal stuff too. But you got to take care of the business first. Too many people are affected by it.
Right. You see that, Jay?
You know what I'm saying? And you're absolutely correct. That's just like in a company. You are correct about that. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a company, you are correct. We cannot allow our personal feelings to get in the way of the overall goals of the company. Right. We cannot. So if I have a personal issue with you, I am not going to allow that to interfere with the overall success of the company. I know how to put it to, we've got to learn how to put it to the side. No matter what seat you sit in the company, no matter if you're working in the mail room or you sitting up there in the office with the big executives. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We cannot allow our personal to interfere with the overall goals of it.
You got to get in that room. You got to get back to that room every single time.
Yeah, that's right. And so
that's in black and white. You got to get back to that room.
Mm-hmm.
It says, K Monger says the leadership are supposed to be counselors when dealing with the membership. True. Because if I'm unable, that's the reason why you are there. Think about it. School teachers, they are to be counselors to the students. They are in leadership. They are in leadership to lead the students. So if I'm having a problem, I should be able to go to my teacher to get some assistance. And if that teacher ain't got somewhere to send me, they can send me just say the work company. They send you to the HR, human resource. They're gonna send you to HR. Mm-hmm. So they can counsel you to find out what's going on.
Right.
That's what their job is. That's what and K Monger, you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
G1990 say facts, a learning experience. A learning experience. We got to continue to move forward, man. We have to, and I see the brother Blaylen, man. Blaylen, you the star of the show, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Everybody love Blaylen.
he's the
Everybody
star.
love
He's
Blaylen.
definitely the star. He's the star.
For
Right.
sure.
I'm just a reflection of the star, G. That's all.
Hey, you sitting here with the Geritol crowd right here. So
Right,
we
man. Hey, man. Right.
Hey, we earned it though. We earned it though.
yeah, we the
Exactly.
Geritol crowd here. You know what I'm saying? You the star. It's you, man. So we following your lead, bro. Sit like my dad do. My dad now he sit on the passenger side and let me do the driving now. So
Right.
hey, drive us, man. You know what I'm saying? Take us to
Hey,
that next level.
I'm gonna say something too to Braylon, man. You know, for me, and I'm pretty sure Fee and D Max share this sentiment. For me, you are a breath of fresh air in regards to what what you represent right now, bro. Because it didn't take that much for us because we got, it was a trial by fire thing with us.
Right.
You are a reflection of somebody actually sitting you down and giving you what you supposed to have.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
One
bro.
of the folks that did that was I just apologized to.
Yeah, I caught that. I caught that.
Yeah, we sincerely appreciate you, man. We do. I know I do, because I talk to him every day, Hustle.
I tell you this all the time. Every time I talk to somebody, hey, I seen you on the podcast, man, with Blaylen. They don't say no fee. They don't say no nothing. I seen you on the podcast with Blaylen every time, and they like, man, we like what that guy Blaylen be talking about. He be asking questions and all that. This is every time I talk to somebody, like daily, they always mention you, man. So like
and
JJ
he making it easy for us too. That's what I'm saying. Like this ain't got no type of pain to it. You feel me?
Right. Yeah. Right.
Ain't no type of pain to it. I'm loving it.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep in mind, like, in truth, I'm part of that generation of the family that was abandoned. Not because the family didn't care. So much stuff happened to the older family members. Being locked up, murder, indictments, all kind of stuff happened. And my generation was left out here. For me to be able to reconnect, you know what I'm saying, to the folks before me, even though I went through what I went through, the love was still present. The respect was still present. So it's my job to reach back and grab those that I left behind and bring them with me.
That's right. Each one
I can't leave them in the wind, and I'm plugged in to where I got to be plugged into getting the truth. Nah, I'm spread it. And whoever I can help better understand this thing of ours, I'm here for them. Whether they be Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, Stones, civilians, Latin Kings, it don't matter who you are. If I can help you better understand who we are and how we work as a collective unit, even the different organizations, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Because even though I'm a member of this organization, I'm a member of a larger universe.
Yes.
And the message got to reach everybody. I don't discriminate. I teach all 8 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy.
Right.
If you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach. Because I'm forever a student.
Now, I want
that
this
part
opinion
right there.
Yeah, I want this opinion. This going off the subject of what we was talking about. Resolution, conflict resolution. How does education play a part in conflict resolution?
Definitely.
How do it play a part?
Do it. I said do it.
Yes,
and how does it?
Let me show
and
you
how
something.
does it?
Let me show you something. This here is conflict resolution.
Right.
This is the key to conflict resolution. This here is conflict resolution. The blueprint. This is conflict resolution. This is what helps us And in order to understand conflict resolution, you have to be educated.
Right.
So education plays a major role in conflict resolution. Education plays a major role in everything we do. That's why it is education first.
Right.
You can't even love somebody if you don't have the education on what love is.
That's
Right.
fact.
You got to know what love is before you can love them.
Right.
And in order to
Right.
do that, you got to be educated on it. Because I can tell you all day that I love you, but if I don't know what it means, if I'm not educated on what true love is, do I
Right.
actually love you?
Right. That's true.
So yes, it plays a major role.
Yeah.
So
And if I'm not mistaken, um, isn't that in the initiative letter about having the knowledge of
The meaning of
kind of,
love.
yeah,
Yep.
having
probably not in the words love, but I think initiative letter tells you got to take that initiative and have knowledge about what we're talking about, you know. And that's for anything, even with the ignorant outbursts. We got to know what the hell we're talking about. And like you said in your podcast the other day, Fee, it's no excuse for not knowing. It's no, there's no excuse for not knowing.
no,
Well,
it's
well,
not
there's educated and there's miseducated. There's informed and then there's misinformed.
yes.
Like what Fee was saying in the podcast is like when you a lawyer with the law. The judges don't care if you know the law or don't know the law. You should have known it. So when you commit this crime, you're supposed to knew what you was committing. You should know the consequences, and that's what ignorant outbursts is. We have to know. It's no excuse for not knowing. You got to be educated in the field that you're trying to be involved in. You know.
Brother Kentucky Shannon TV said DMAC comprehension is at an all-time low, even though people have degrees. That's right, because you can have a degree and still have a low comprehension. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And so we know we deal with, we always used to say, common sense ain't so common.
I was just about to say
Exactly.
that. We
Right.
have that in our common sense approach.
Yeah,
For
it's
real.
not,
Yeah.
it's not so common.
I was just
Exactly.
about to say that.
So
Because I know that I ain't we ain't speaking no names, but we was talking about me and Fee was talking just the other day, yesterday or day before, whatever, that one of our brothers is smart as a fuck, but he is one of them people got all the comprehension in the world and not as educated as he's supposed to be. I will say that.
Is that
There's
in the
different levels of
application
education.
or is just by action?
It's by I would say it's by not trying to be um the person that's supposed to know. Sometimes we have a thing where it's that we know everything
Mm.
and we don't know nothing at all. And sometimes that happens. You know everything, you smart as hell, but you actually don't know what the hell you talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And that guy Kentucky, what's it called? That's a good comprehension there
yeah,
about people. The comprehension is an all time low. Yeah, you can have
even
degrees and all that stuff.
yeah,
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 I
you
feel you.
know, yeah. So I want to thank y'all, man, and I think this was a good panel. I hope that we're able to reach somebody. I'm leaving this up. There gonna be no editing to it or none of that. We're gonna leave it up exactly how it is, the raw footage, everything, man, because it has to be understood, man, that we have a responsibility as a people and a community, man, to love and respect each other. We have to, man. We have to be careful with our words. We have to be careful with the the audience that our words reach. That's just like with me. I come on here, you come on here, Hustle come on here, Blayling come on here. We have a responsibility to the people because we are reaching people and people's listen to us. So we have a responsibility, a duty, and an obligation to be righteous and to lead in the right way. Because all of us have been misled at some point in our lives. And I know me, I'm not trying to mislead nobody. I don't want nobody to have to go through nothing that I have gone through in life.
That's
Because,
great.
man, so we have a job to use preventive measures. An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. So instead of trying to find a cure to something, let's try to prevent from getting whatever it is so we don't have to find no cure. Let's try to prevent
build our immune system up to fight it off when it tries to come.
That's right.
But you got to be willing to be a fact checker. You got to be willing to be a researcher, like Fee said previously. You have to go get your answers. There is no dumb questions when you don't know the answers.
That's right.
You have to go get your answers. You have to confirm the source. You got to confirm the source of the source.
K-Monka said, if only we loved each other like we love money, then we would truly become a reckoning power of people. You are, man, listen.
Spit that. Talk that talk.
Man, talk that talk, bro. Talk that talk. Because we spoke on that today, K-Monka. It's ironic that you mentioned this here because we spoke on this today. When Mr. Larry Hoover was active in the park, Mr. Larry Hoover always focused on the people. Then he never placed finances above the people because if you think about it, if he would have placed finances above the people, he would have been home.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He would have been home.
Right.
Yeah. And that just come about, you know, some of our stuff that we learned, the black and white, is the majority is minority to the
the majority is subordinate to the minority.
Subordinate to the minority. Exactly.
The minority is subordinate to the majority. You got me saying it backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the minority is
that's why I just say
subordinate
the
to the
OS
majority.
just say it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta get it right, old man. Get it right, old man.
Hey,
minority is subordinate to the majority.
Right. I want to put something on the table too, man, as far as the membership is concerned in our community. We are dealing with and tend to find ourselves in this wave of following preconceived notions. We have to get away from that. We have to resolve ourselves to love on each other and find out what's going on before reacting, before forming an opinion. Know what it is that's going on. Know where you're getting your information from. Know where the people that's giving you information is getting information from. You have to confirm everything that's going on in regards to who is who and what is what, without and stay in your lane. You know, without getting out your body, without dealing with or involving yourselves or the other membership in things that is above your pay grade. Everything ain't for you. Everything ain't for your ears. Everything ain't for you to deal with. It's people with these jobs and these responsibilities. Our job is to make sure that they're doing their job.
Okay, so then let's go back to the end. It says number 1 in the leadership code of conduct. Tell no member any more than he need to know the function. Ask no more than you need to know the function. If more need to be known, you will be told.
Right.
Stay in your lane.
Yep.
Right. And in the words of JJ, that's above my pay grade.
That's above my pay grade.
Stay in your lane.
And more importantly, these offices need to be secured. When I tell you that if it didn't come from me, it ain't the business, that's because I didn't get it from nowhere else.
That's right. It said that's why education comes before economics and the creed, pledge, etc.
Yeah,
You know, and the
that's our
brother
number
also
one.
said, it
That's
said
our number one thing.
once you are educated, then you understand love is priority and the one creative force of all existence. You better say it.
Yeah, for
You better
real.
say it, K Munger. You better say it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
Well,
understood,
yeah.
truly understood. And if it don't come like the brother said, like the brother Hustle said, if it don't come from him, he ain't heard it. Hey, it is what
It
it
ain't the
is.
business.
It ain't
Yeah,
Right.
because for all intents and purposes, everybody's supposed to have their channels open to the proper places. So if you ain't getting it from the proper channels, then more than likely, like the common sense approach say, it's probably fraudulent.
Yes.
And
It's
that's what you
probably not
said,
true.
though, about them proper channels. If
Yeah,
folks stop watching everybody else TV, they can focus on their own channel.
That's right.
Right.
and the channels are here. The channels have been there. Like, so if you're receiving something from a abnormal channel, then you probably need to go check that out
Yeah.
before
Check
acting
your
on it.
reception.
Your reception, you buffering, man. You ain't getting nothing, man. You buffering. You know what I'm saying? That means that your Wi-Fi is not hooked up right. You know what
Huh?
I'm saying?
Huh?
Oh man. Hey man, I want to thank y'all, man. No, we're gonna end this live, man. And to you brothers, man, each one of y'all, man, we're gonna leave on a pod and shot, man. So we're gonna start out, man, with the brother D-Mac since he at the top. So we're gonna start out with D-Mac and go around the horn, man.
Man, brothers, we just everybody. We thank everybody that tuned in to us. We just need to. We trying to educate the brothers on what it's about, what our community is about, and we thank everybody and just listen, man. Try to learn what we about. When we tell you, because when we say what we say is kind of legit. We go by black and white. What's on black and white? So just pay attention, man. We're gonna teach accordingly. And man, other than that, everything is all love, y'all. Peace.
Brother Blayland.
Yes, sir. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I want to tell everybody that witnessed the podcast to listen, look, and learn. Listen to what we're saying, look it up, and learn from what you research, and then take your first step in love. And I promise you'll always walk the right path.
Peace. Brother Hustle.
Peace and love to everybody. And just like the rest of the panelists, I love and appreciate this platform. Thank you, Fee, for putting this platform together for us. And to all our brothers and sisters, I can't say this enough. Uh, man, love on each other, put each other first, and always do your research. Always ask your questions. Look for your answers, man. Truth don't need no support.
Mm. Peace. So I want to say this here. I want to thank the panelists, man, for coming on today, man. And each one of these brothers, man, they had something to do. Brother Hustle he like, hey man, you need me, he on. Uh Brother D Mac has to get ready to go to work, and Blayland has another event coming up, man. So he had to go got to take care of some business, but I called on him, man, and they was there. We are looking for a sister to join this panel because the sisters has to be heard, man, and they're not being heard. So we want to add a sister to the panel. So if any sister out there think that she has the understanding, man, to come sit in on these panels with us, man, you are more than welcome, man, because we are looking for a sister to join us on a regular basis. So come on out, sisters. We need you all. Y'all need to be heard too, because you all are very important. And for the record, man, we have to be mindful, man, of the ignorant outbursts that we make. And we have to love on each other, be united with each other, and always be able to find conflict resolution. Always be able to find conflict resolution. And don't be so fast, man, to disparage your brothers and sisters, man, without the facts to support what you're saying. And on that level, man, this has been another episode, man, of PLM News Network, man. The awareness session, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Peace.